Cancer, the crabs, what's going on? Hopefully everyone's doing pretty good today. Just as a reminder, guys, this is a general reading, so please take what resonates and leave what doesn't. I'm going to repeat that one more time. This is a general reading, guys, so please take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Us readers, guys, we read for the masses. So in your guys' case, Cancer, we read for sun, moon, and rising, together as a collective. Sometimes we include Venus, 10th house, 7th house, kind of just depends, but normally it's for sun, moon, and rising for Cancer. So it's all of them, all of the different signs or different positions, I should say, placements together as one. So all the messages here, they completely all won't resonate with your specific situation. This is the overall energies and overall messages for sun, moon, and rising. Okay? Also, guys, you guys may notice that sometimes when I do my readings for you guys, sometimes I may go on one tangent in terms of one message. I may bring it back, or I may go on another complete tangent on another, on another sense, and I may bring that back, and it kind of just depends. The reason why I do that is because it is a general reading, so I want to get as many messages as I possibly can out there for you guys. Also, remember, guys, to watch your sun, moon, and your rising, and also take what resonates with those specific videos and leave what doesn't. And what you need to do is what does resonate, take those little pieces, put them together from your sun, moon, and rising, and then, put them all together from all those readings and then see what fits and what best resonates with your unique situation. Which also leads me to the next point. If you guys would like a private reading, please see the description box with the link there for how to obtain one. And everything there in terms of when we do a private reading, these spreads and all the messages there will and are guaranteed to resonate with your unique situation. And everything there completely will resonate for sure. All right, guys, so take advantage of that if you guys would like to delve a little deeper into your unique situations. And also, guys, if you would like to skip the astrology for the month and the rest of the intro and everything of that sort, please see the comments section of this video for a timestamp there provided by me. It's the very first one. It's going to be pinned. So, the timestamps there, and it is available for you guys if you would like to just skip the whole introduction and all of the sort. I'm going to say that one more time, guys. If you would like to skip the intro and the astrology and everything of the sort, please see the timestamp skip available for you in the comments section. It's a pinned comment by me, and it's available for you guys to skip all the intro and the astrology for that specific purpose, okay? Let me go ahead and give you your astrology, Cancer, for the month of August. Now, the forecasts here are normally meant for a sun sign, but sometimes it can bleed off into a rising. It kind of just depends. If it does, throughout the different sections, I'll say a rising or something to that effect, and that's when it'll apply to a rising, okay? So for the Cancer sun sign, Cancer, August 2017 may be a month in which the house of family will become dominant, inasmuch as planetary aspects are beneficial for relationships. The family atmosphere can be extremely pleasant. 17 may be a period of transition and autonomy for the Cancer personality. Bold actions
May yield, in place to social skills and flexibility. You may be driven by others and their interests. In terms of career, planetary positions are not favorable for career progress this month. This shall give you an opportunity to dream about the future and of your professional life and position. Mercury retrograde this month may help you work out strategies to accomplish your business objectives in the days to come. In terms of love, relationships, and partnerships, for coupled Cancers, in the event that your current relationship may not be working, you may have abundant opportunities to form partnerships where you're able to attract new partnerships this month. That was about it for the coupled Cancers. But for single Cancers, love may be found while chasing your financial dreams, and you may be looking for affluence in such partnerships or relationships. In terms of health, your health may be good this month.
and your vitality may be extraordinary. This energy can be diverted towards achieving your professional and financial goals. So, Cancer, overall, August 2017 forecasts a month which is great for marriages, family, and family activities. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and bless the deck and we'll get started. Guardian angels of love and light, ancestors lost and known in the seas of time, please intercede into this reading to provide Cancer with the clarity and direction as to which he or she seeks. And please grant me, the reader, the objectivity to read the cards and relay every single message as they're meant to be. All right, Cancer, we're coming into the reading with the Fool reversed. Okay? All right. Okay, Cancer, when I see this spread, I see that there's a sense of like confusion in this, Cancer. Like, I feel as though, or what I'm picking up on when I see this is, first of all, I mean, you're coming into the reading with the Fool reversed, which by default definition, not wanting to take a certain leap of faith. I see a lot of good here, and I also see a lot of uncertainty, Cancer. Like, I'm seeing that there, I feel like something happened, Cancer, where like a situation that came or presented itself. I mean, the Chariot in reverse, we're coming into the reading, I mean, with your own card in reverse. I mean, you could maybe be dealing with the Leo as well. You could be dealing with another earth sign, Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus. Maybe a Scorpio, or maybe you have Scorpio in your chart. Maybe you have Leo in your chart, Earth in your chart. You could maybe be dealing with or have in your chart an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. But when I see this spread, Cancer, it's like I feel a change coming, a positive one, don't get me wrong. But I feel, Cancer, like going back to the idea, what I was saying about something happened, something transpired that put you in a position, Cancer, where like it was tough to deal with. Something didn't work out in your favor. As if a decision put you into like a cage, into carrying this Ten of Wands energy, like carrying a burden. And I feel like there was a transformation here, but I feel like it was a transformation that wasn't necessarily seen. That it was a transformation that brought you to a point where, okay, I feel like there's a very dualistic, I mean, Cancer, dualistic, right? There's a very dualistic sense to this side over here, Cancer. Like, good came of it because I feel like you saw something in yourself that you probably never did, or that you never imagined, or you would have never seen. When I say that, I mean something good came out of it, like you saw like a transformation of yourself or a certain aspect of yourself. But I feel like how things kind of went about and how the situation kind of went about in its business put you in a position where you were like in an untenable situation where either the outside influences or you specifically put yourself in a position where you couldn't necessarily defend yourself. Like you were led to, like I said, carry this burden with the 10 of fire here. Because I feel, Cancer, like maybe you felt with the devil reverse here. Oh, you could be dealing with maybe Capricorn or have Capricorn in your chart. Lately, I've been missing that, like saying that. It's so strange. I'm not sure why. But I feel, Cancer, like it's kind of hard for me to describe this. It's like you were worried, or sorry guys, let me just get this correct. You felt as if, Cancer, like you got over this hump, over this person, over this situation, over this item, whatever the case may be for you, that bound you, Cancer. It bounded you down and it made you feel like you were in a bad space. And I feel like you kind of came out of that period, but at the same time, Cancer, it was still lingering around. Like you did deal with it, don't get me wrong, but it was still prevalent. It was there, and it was, you thought you cleared it out, and you did over a certain aspect. I feel like, let's say it was, in order to clear this devil card out, it was 1, 2, 3. You did 1 and 2, but you just missed that third one, and it was the residuals of it. There was the residuals, the leftover pieces of this person, situation, thing, whatever it is, like I said, for your situation, pertaining to your situation. And you went about your business normally, like you felt like everything was okay, and I felt like everything was okay. But it came back, Cancer, and because you thought you cleared it out, you kind of weren't as privy to it. You didn't pay attention to it as much, and it came back out, right? And it caused delays, and it also caused a change in how you approach the situation, and it all kind of like went to crap in a sense. Like it took over, and it brought you to this point where it wasn't gone, and I think you realized that. But at the same time, Cancer, how this went about and how it transpired and how everything was placed in a certain row in a certain area, there was a light shine or shone on top of it, and yet you did have to carry the burden, Cancer, and you did have to then further deal with it like it was a surprise, and it taught you a little bit about yourself, and things didn't go in your favor, or things were stagnant. And I feel like you did have that confidence in yourself, Cancer, to the point where it was like, okay, it's gone. Yeah, it's gone. But then, like I said, that switch happened, and it came out of nowhere, and it put you in that untenable situation, and it brought you to that point where it was like, shit, like, damn it, it was still there, and it happened again. But I feel, Cancer, that this needed to happen for a reason, to kind of say or prove to yourself, Cancer, that sometimes we're not fully aware of things, and sometimes we don't realize what's left over, or I'm picking up shortcut, maybe trying to ignore it. You kind of convince yourself that you were, but I feel like, okay, let me kind of feeling like you got rid of it. And I think that you really did try, Cancer. You did. I'm not going to knock you for that. I'm not going to say that that didn't happen, because it did in terms of working through it. But I feel when I picked up shortcut, I feel like it wasn't completed all the way through, and there was that piece left. And you really did think that it was like you got up to, like, let's go to the 1, 2, 3 thing. You got up to the 1, to the 2, and then you just thought that, okay, since I got 2, 2, 3, it'll just dissipate, or it'll just, it'll disappear. And I feel like that's what happened. And that third piece, Cancer, number 3, was still there. And it bit you in the ass. And it brought you to that point where all hell broke loose. And you were faced with it. Literally face your you were literally point to, like, it was right there in your face, Cancer, and you had to look at it for really what it was. And it was there, and it was so clear to you as to what happens when we don't completely work through the issue, and when we just think that it'll kind of just disappear when we put enough, there we go, when we put enough effort, thank you, when we put enough effort into something. But sometimes almost is never enough. I think that's the name of your guys' video or your reading this month. Almost is never enough. And I feel like that's what happened, Cancer. Because when I say that, or why I concluded that, at least in terms of this section for this base card, because we still have this base, but I feel like you're scared, Cancer, to move forward now. You're scared to, or there's a fear that this is still lingering and it's still around. But I feel, Cancer, like through this experience, in terms of having to deal with it and having to carry all of that burden, that it was to the point now where it's like you're almost frightened to continue on. And I feel like you're continuing on in a good manner and on a good path. But I feel like you're very frightened now in terms of moving forward, because you feel like this is still there. And I feel like because of it still being there and it being presented to you, and you having to actually face it head on, face to face, that it brought you to a point of feeling like you were left out in the cold, and it brought you to the point where you felt like you no longer had the stability of your family, or you no longer had the stability of the people that you're involved with, and it infiltrated, and it convoluted things. And I feel like with the 9 of Fire here in reverse, or the 9 of Wands here in reverse, I feel like you do want to release it, and I feel like it was released. Like I'm saying, that almost is never enough. And I'm really starting to feel, Cancer, that you had that period where you were like, am I damned if I do it? I'm damned if I don't. But I do see here on this, Cancer, that we now see how we must take control of those aspects of our life that we know we need to control, we need to get a hold of, and we need to face them face to face, not just fight the battle with them behind them, to face the battle, but not with this devil card right here behind a cloak. Like we almost got it. Since we're almost there, it's just gonna go away. Sometimes that works, but normally, Cancer, doesn't, because the hardest part, or one of the hardest things in life, Cancer, is working on ourselves. And it's real hard, and especially when, Cancer, you're taking care of everyone else and you're worrying about everyone else's issues, which is okay in a sense, because that's one of your traits. But Cancer, when you're worrying about everyone else and you don't focus, or you don't take the time to focus on your issues, because you're worrying about everyone else's issues, sometimes when you don't take that little section of time away for yourself, you tend to kind of do things a little bit fast, or in a sense where you kind of, you get where I'm going, where you go and you worry about their issue, not about, maybe not yours, but you kind of get into this headspace where, since it's almost done, you can just kind of let it go, and then you're worrying about other people's things. But Cancer, you need to take that time for yourself, and you need to do it successfully and make sure you see it through. Because when you don't see it through, this is what happens. You get presented with it again. And I don't know, I'm not sure why I'm picking up on karmic. Like this was a karmic lesson for you in a sense. Now, we're coming out of the Cancer season. We're entering Leo season now. And I feel like that's why the Mother of Fire is here. Facing things head on and knowing that you must have a plan, Cancer, in terms of how to attack it, in terms of how to let me rephrase that, how to prevail over it, and how to successfully deal with it, and how to successfully get over the hump, because this was a serious hump. And when we move over here, I kind of feel like you needed to have that moment of strength with yourself. You needed to find that inner strength in yourself to move forward, Cancer, because we can't change this. We can't change what happened. There's no way to do that. But what we can do is move forward with it and make sure that we learn from this lesson, and we then are able to apply that to our future endeavors. And we're able to apply that and see these mistakes here, how it went and how it transpired, as a way of anticipation, and how to see that when we don't complete things fully for ourselves, what can happen when the residuals of a situation, a person, an issue, a circumstance is left there and just kind of floating there, when almost is not isn't sorry when almost is never enough. And I feel, Cancer, going back over here, that you now see what happens, Cancer, when we don't communicate, not just with yourself, which is vital in terms of getting through this. Communicate with other people. How are you currently feeling? What's going on? Why are you feeling like this? When you communicate that to people then know how to approach you. People then know what kind of space you're in. Where's your head at? What's going on? If you're trying to fight something off, express that to people. And I feel like with the Mother of Fire here, this is someone who takes control and who doesn't take no for an answer. This is someone who says, bullcrap, I'm going to see this all the way through. This is someone who has that vigor within them. I'm not saying that you don't, but maybe if you feel like you don't, or you lost it in this scenario, or you lost it in this area, you do have that in you, Cancer, because you're very good at solving other people's problems, or being there, or rising to the occasion in terms of the welfare of other people. Now you need to give that to yourself, though, Cancer. It's time. And please don't think that it's selfish for you to take that little bit of time for yourself, because it's not. Because when you're okay with yourself and you take care of your issues and you see them through, and you at least solve them, or at least cope with them and are okay with them, acceptance of them, you then have the vitality, Cancer, to take on other people's issues or other people's problems, or whatever needs to be done at that specific time. And I feel like that's why the Mother Fire is here for you, because this is someone, like I said, who takes control of the situation, and who doesn't take no for an answer, and who knows how to see it all the way through, because she has that confidence within herself. This can also be a male. If you're a Cancer male, you can apply this to you. It doesn't necessarily have to be Mother Fire. It can be Father. It can be anything of the sort. But it's the embodiment of that essence of taking the control and taking no for an answer and seeing it all the way through. But it starts with having inner strength, Cancer. It starts with you being strong. Because you, like I said, you have to be strong for yourself in order to help other people, or to help deal with other situations, whether it's people, circumstances, whatever the case may be. Just deal with your life in other areas where upheaval or contention may arise in other areas. Because then you have, like I said, you have the vitality to actually move forward and to tackle them. But you can't let things linger on, like the Devil card in reverse here. You can't let them linger, because then when other situations arise, you may still be a little bit hurt from it, from the residuals of this, or you may still be dealing with those issues, and then you're going to take other people's problems or other situations at heart or to heart, and then it's going to manifest like that, and you're going to have too much of an emotional attachment to it. And with the Three of Wind here in reverse, I kind of feel, Cancer, like it's time to forgive yourself. You have to forgive yourself, Cancer, for this mistake here, but it wasn't a mistake. It was a latent consequence. And that's the difference. It's okay that this happened, but don't let this happen again. We have to learn from this. Three of Wind or Three of Swords in reverse, this is forgiveness. This also means having to forgive yourself, though. And I feel like that's why the Fool card is here in reverse. Because it's time to forgive yourself for maybe all the crap that came from this section over here, what transpired from here. But in order to move on and move forward, Cancer, you have to embody this Mother of Fire here, but you also have to be willing to take that leap of faith, Cancer, and not only to forgive other people, but forgive yourself. We're human, we make mistakes, it's okay, it's a part of life. But we can't continue to keep on beating ourselves up for this mistake here. And I feel like the Brother of Wind in reverse here, or the Knight of Swords here in reverse, this happened, Cancer, because of lack of communication, of not being honest with yourself, most importantly, which then backfired and brought you to this 10 of Fire here. Because if you would, like I said, communicate with other people, then other people would know how to help you or how to adjust accordingly to your needs and to your wants. Because it's okay, Cancer. Sometimes you have the need and you have the want, and that's okay. And if you do help a lot of other people, those people then in turn should then be more than willing to help you during this point of your life. But if you can't communicate with yourself completely honestly, and there were some residuals left over from the Devil card here in reverse, other people don't know how to work through this with you. And it begins with communication with yourself. So therefore you can communicate effectively with other people. But we can't continue to carry it, Cancer. You have to drop the wands, that's it. Because you do want to drop it, Cancer. I can see it. You have the Nine of Fire in your crowning cards at the top here. But don't be in fear that people won't forgive you or that people won't work with you, because then that further alienates you, and that further then it's counterproductive to your transcendence and to your transformation, because then you feel like you don't have the support or the security of your people when you do, because your people should be okay when these things happen. Because who sticks around is the ones who really matter. They're the ones who are going to help you through it. But it all starts with inner strength. You have to have the inner strength. Mother of Fire, inner strength right here. Brother of Wind in reverse. You can have that inner strength, but you have to communicate with yourself effectively in order to know where this strength lies and where it resides, and how to, most importantly, how to access this strength. Because it does start with being a little bit vulnerable with yourself, Cancer. And that starts with the Nine of Fire in reverse here. You have to drop them. You have to drop the wands. And you have to then say, okay, what am I doing wrong? Why can't I feel like I can't move forward? Then when that happens, you can then gather that inner strength and then be the Mother of Fire, where you grab that strength and you use it. Temperance right here. Could maybe dealing with the Sagittarius, but Temperance, most importantly, making the correct decisions, Cancer. Making the correct decision also has to do with proper communication with yourself. That's the only way that you can make the proper decisions, what you need. And that's the only way that you're ever going to move past anything. The High Priestess. Trusting your intuition, Cancer, and trusting that you have the answers, that you have to know them, and you have to be strong in your self-assertion in terms of what you need and what you have to have. And understanding why and understanding where things come from. This is trusting yourself, and you have to listen to that part of you because you are naturally, innately, you have that intuition. It's very strong. It comes very natural to you, but sometimes things that come very natural to us, Cancer, we tend to forget about them, or they're a trait in which we don't really tend to maybe sometimes work on because it's so natural. But we have to listen to ourselves and to the High Priestess. Okay? She has all the answers. But you have to know where the answers lie in order to arrive to them or to get them. Eight of Wind in reverse, or Eight of Swords in reverse. When you do this, Cancer, you don't no longer feel trapped in certain situations. Feel trapped in terms of you can't, like, not being able to move forward. Because when you no longer feel trapped is when you can gather this bit of information and when you can then move forward. But you have to feel like you're not trapped, because you aren't. But putting yourself down because of mistakes that you made does not necessarily mean that you have to feel trapped, or you have to then put yourself under this misery. Take the leap of faith, Cancer, and trust in yourself and in your intuition. It's there for a reason. You can make the correct decisions if you listen to yourself and you trust your intuition. Seven of Earth here in reverse, or Seven of Pentacles in reverse. Wasted effort, Cancer. Wasted effort when we fail to listen to ourselves and make the right decisions, what's best for us. And when we fail to see what's lingering behind, with the Devil card in reverse there. You don't want to feel like this is wasted effort, because nothing is ever really wasted effort. It brings you to a specific point. But what are you going to do from that point forward does matter. What you learn from it matters. And how it then affects your life matters, Cancer. Ten of Earth in reverse. Feeling like you don't have it all. But you can, because this is a perception. This is how you perceive things, Cancer, and what you need. But if we fail to do what it is I've been speaking of, in the past couple minutes, it leads you to feel like you don't have it all and you don't have what you need in terms of moving forward with things. Because you do have it, and you can have it all. But when you get to those points of Seven of Earth in reverse, where you think that it's wasted effort, and therefore we can't look at the situation and say, okay, what can I do differently, or what did I learn from this? That's when we reach the Ten of Earth in reverse. And we feel like we haven't reached that point in our life where we can then be happy because we have everything in terms of stability and emotional fulfillment and materialistically fulfilled, and stability, fulfillment of stability in terms of that sense. Because it does start with gathering that strength that you need. It's underneath the Ten of Earth in reverse here. Gathering that strength, Cancer, because you need to gather it up. Because that's how you prepare yourself for the battle. But you have to believe that you have it. And you have to believe that it's actually there. And it does exist. But it's up to you to find it. And it's up to you to actually apply it. And it begins with these two cards here. I think these two cards were under the deck for a specific reason. This is where it begins, making the correct decisions, but trusting your intuition. All right, let's pull a Jesus card. He that believeth on me, the works that I do, shall he do also, and greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Father. John 14:12. Okay. Whatsoever shall do the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same is my brother and sister and mother. Matthew 12:50. When we seek, Cancer, seek the inner knowledge and the higher power that we need to seek, and we understand where sacrifice or where the good needed to be done, something that needed to happen in order to move forward with the bigger plan, right? Which is what we were speaking of in the beginning, how you learn something. When we do that, we learn what needs to be done afterwards. And we can then give that back to people. And we can then help people understand why they're at where they're at. And that's where I believe that God is trying to speak to you, or your higher power is trying to speak to you. Because from that point forward, you can do bigger and better things. Because you see where the sacrifice or where the situation lied and where it needs to be done. And when you do this, Cancer, and you see where it lies and where the importance of sacrifice comes from, and you give it to other people in terms of the knowledge that you've gained from it, you can create great things, because then people then in your circle follow suit. And then they then understand where things come from and why you did certain things that you did or that transpired a certain way. And then they then learn from that, and then they then move forward with that in the back of their mind and their subconscious. It's all a learning experience, Cancer. But you can't beat yourself up for the things that you are learning. That's unethical. It doesn't make sense. You went through it for a specific reason, so therefore it was a learning curve. And I feel like that's what God's trying to speak to you about. Understand where things come from and why it happens like that. And then you can then give back to the people, to your circle, and then they can then learn from that and continue on and use that for their future or to the circumstances that they're going to go through. Because you have to believe, Cancer, that it happened for a reason. And I believe that that's where the full card here in reverse is. We have to take the leap of faith, Cancer, and know that things happen for a specific reason. And going back to the idea, what I said in the beginning of the reading, in terms of sometimes almost is never enough. Because this is not almost, this is enough. Because it's seeing things that it's going through everything and seeing what comes out of it at the end. Because if we never went through those issues and we never completely finished them to the end, we would never gain that knowledge that we can then give back. But it begins by understanding that things happen for a reason. Okay, Cancer, that was good reading. Okay, all right, keep your head up. Don't beat yourself up for this. We can only move forward. It's the only direction that God has provided for us. That's it. Okay, we can't go back. Okay, Cancer, we'll see you from the 15th to the 31st. For any other random video I put out. Make sure you check out John 14 and Matthew 12. Something will be in there for you. Okay? All right, we'll see you.